Man, it's great to hook up with you, Carlo. Thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it. And I want to begin our conversation with surviving the last 3.5 years, getting through a pandemic. How did you get through that and how did it change you?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a complete life change for us because I was in business doing coaching in a completely different way to what I'm doing now. Right. So my journey is a quick 30 seconds was I started in business when I was 18 and I was running a kids sport and mindset program. And and through COVID, obviously everything changes because we couldn't have in-person sessions. So we reshifted our models and now it's gone to a completely different level, working with athletes all over the world, sport teams all over the world, and high performing business owners again from all over the world. So it's really cool, but change in a massive way.
So let's get to the essence of exactly what you do for
Yeah,
a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third grade kids. It's career
yeah,
day. And one of the
yeah.
kids curiously asks you, what do you do for a living? How do you answer them?
Yeah, I basically work with people to help them become their best self and the best version of themselves so that as they become everything that they can be, they can be happier, achieve more of what they want to do and do more of what they love. So with people in business, we help them to it's things. Whereas people in sport, it's about helping them to ultimately play better. And the idea that everyone is an athlete in the game of life, whether they're an athlete in a game of business or in a game of football, hockey, golf, whatever it might be. It's about helping them to become the absolute best version of themselves.
What did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream to grow up and become?
I wanted to be a soccer player. Obviously, growing up in the northern part of Italy, it was religion is everything that I wanted to be, and unfortunately, well, or fortunately, who knows what's good and bad. The talent, the sporting talent, I never had, but the talent that I have had and developed has been to to really help people for the person behind both the business owner and the athlete. But definitely wanted to be a soccer player for the team in of my city, which I still follow, of course.
So talk to me a little bit about your journey. You're from Italy originally. How did these seeds get into you to want to help people to get to that next
Mm,
level? I mean, it's not just a regular job. You're putting a lot out to help people. How did those
correct.
seeds turn into you today?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. For me, the journey. I'll give you a bit of a background onto this, and I think it will answer the question. When I was 18, I we traveled back home to Italy to our hometown for the first time in about 5 years, and those 5 years were huge. I mean, as a migrant family, so much changes. There's so much that goes on, and I was 18, end of high school in Australia, and it was all about. I mean, finish high school, you're supposed to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life, right? Um, and I had no idea. So we traveled back for the first time, and I'm standing at the fence watching kids train at the soccer club that I grew up at. And as I'm watching, it's almost like a light bulb moment goes off in my head, and I realize it comes to me what I'm meant to be doing, what my purpose is to become the best version of myself and to help people become the best version of themselves. And the reason for that, Joe, is that when I grew up, I know what it's like to be the overweight, low self-esteem kid, not physically talented at sport, but that loves it. And so what I wanted to do was to create an environment where I could use sport as a platform to do the deeper internal work in a child's mindset, their identity, their confidence. And as time evolved, I was able to, I mean, I've worked with, humans as little as 2 years old to, you know, retired CEOs. So I've really seen the whole span. And it's ultimately about that, about helping them become that greatest version of who they are. Not to be something that they're not, but to be everything that they can be. So I've taken sport and use that as a platform. And now we've taken obviously coaching method in a different way to do the same thing. And it's gone this beautiful evolution and unfoldment of going from the youngest to the eldest, to from, little kids to, really high performing hotshot CEOs and vice presidents of billion-dollar companies. And it's stayed, the mission has stayed the same, the purpose has stayed the same. We just shifted the way that we do that.
So you're a coach, you're an inspiration for people. Who has that been for you? Who's been a hero for you in your life?
There's so many different mentors in different ways, from really successful people to not successful people. An inspiration, I mean, I can name you a few. An inspiration for me still remains that little kid in the northern part of Italy that lacked confidence, lacked certainty, that lacked that strong role model in his life, right? To then some of the mentors now who are really successful people that have walked the talk, and they continuously walk their talk and actually become an inspiration, not just by the material results, which are important, but more of how they walk their talk and how they live their life. I love Patrick Bet-David. I've loved some of the most successful coaches. Luckily, some people that are still alive that I'm able to know personally, they become, real inspiration simply by how they live their life and how they show up.
So if you could meet anybody alive right now on the planet and spend some time with them, who would you love to meet and talk to?
Yeah. I'm a huge Patrick Bet-David fan, as I mentioned before. There are some great mentors of mine in Brad Lee, in even Wes Watson. There's other people like Andy Elliott. I love kind of what they're about and how they live their life. I love to meet some of obviously sport influences a lot of what I do. So there's some coaches in Pep Guardiola who I love to pick his brain and understand how he works. Some athletes like your LeBron James or Tiger Woods, and understanding not from a fanboy point of view, but really understanding, hey, what is it really required of you to show up consistently for all these years? How did you get yourself to this level, to really understand that? So that's probably how I would answer that question.
What's been the best advice you've ever gotten? Since you dispense good advice, what's been the best advice you've gotten?
Some of the best advice has been that the work instills the worth. There's so many people, and especially in the online space, and worth has been something that I've really struggled with. I'm very open about the problems that are and struggles that I've had. It's that to really feel worthy of where you want to go, and the results and the physical goals that you want to get, it really comes from the work that we put in every single day. That we, talking is good, but we've got to back it up with something. And it's really to put the, that little voice that we all have in our head to rest and quieten and to achieve that sort of peace of mind, is to put in the work and to the standards that we know we're capable of. And once we do that work and we're at peace with ourselves, then doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what anyone else says, doesn't matter what the economy does, because we're doing the work. And if we are right, and if we're at peace with our own self, not only can we push so much harder, but we can go to a completely different level and hold that confidence that really comes from ourselves seeing ourselves do what we say that we're going to do.
So, as someone that clearly loves soccer, if you could go back in time and see one game, where are you going? What do you want to see?
That's a good question. If I could go back and watch one game all over again, it would be 2002. It would be at Old Trafford in Manchester, England. It would be, I want to be there for the second half, and I want to taking the moment that David Beckham scores in the 89th minute to send England to the World Cup. It's been made re-famous by obviously the David Beckham documentary on Netflix, but that moment was the moment that I mean, I was 10, 11 at the time, so I was very young, but I remember what it did to me, and I remember taking the ball out and going to take free kicks, trying to imitate David Beckham's free kick, and his style and his swagger and his confidence. And it was, yeah, I would want to go back to that moment.
So every day you wake up, you have motivation to be who you are, be the best version of you, and then to help others. What is that daily motivation for you? What gets you out of bed and motivates you to be you?
Yeah. There's a something that I always say around motivation, and it's that when motivation runs out, vision and purpose take over. And not every day I'm motivated to get up, to go and do my morning rituals, to go to the gym. I'm currently doing a 365-day challenge where I do 143 burpees every single day. I hate the thing. I'm not motivated to do it. But what drives me is the vision of where we're going, excuse me, where we're going with our company, and the purpose behind everything that we do. And that purpose is really to impact more people, to continuously create the person that I admire within me. Because once I'm able to do that, I'm able to show up with a completely different energy to impact the people that I come in contact with every day. So the motivation, I suppose, it's to on this everyday battle to continuously become a better version of who I am. Because once I do that, then I'm able to impact the people around me. So what keeps me going goes back to that little kid in the northern part of Italy. It goes back to the business owner in, you know, when I first ran that business I was telling you about. I struggled for 10 years financially because I was passionate about what I did, but I didn't really master my mindset and the mindset around money. So I go to work every day to help one more person make the shift from being great at what they do and not getting paid to being great at what they do and having that financial return. And the athlete, for the athlete to not only be great at what they did at what they do, because that's not enough. It's being great at what they do, but becoming a constant performer, the higher version of themselves. So that's uh that's what drives me every day, and it's not always easy, especially when it's dark and cold and snowing and not comfortable. But that's the journey. That's the mission that we're on.
What's been one of your favorite success stories that you've been involved with?
Mm. Well, there's a lot, and there's many of them. Um, One of them is I work with a real high performer that believed that he could only perform when he had a certain substance in him. That was the identity. That was, he put all his belief into this substance, and he was addicted to it. And his self-worth and self-confidence and his certainty was dependent upon this thing. And in a very short period of time, we were able to break that belief and that identity and that addiction to this thing, and actually bring this, let's say, if we want to say it in this way, help him become addicted to himself again, right, in the best possible way, to actually believe in yourself that, hey, I can perform, I am enough, that I can perform, and I can be everything that I need to be in the moment that it counts, without anything else outside of me. That I have everything that I already need. I am enough to succeed, and that's one of the coolest things. There's been some, people that have struggled financially for a very long time, that have been able to transform that with the same principles. And to me, those are the ones, and there's a number of the same kind of story that runs through what we do. It just gets me really fired up, really excited, and grateful to have been able to be just a small part into that transformation.
So, of all of the things that you've done, from the kid in Italy to now, what are you the proudest of?
I'm the proudest that there's been a lot of times when I lost everything, I never gave up, that I kept working on the person within everything, right? Because the material stuff and the physical stuff can come and go really quickly, but the person stays. And I'm so proud of the fact that I never gave up. I've been my number one fan. I've been the person that has believed in me more than anything else. And that's not always easy. But that's the stuff that at the end of the day, all of the physical stuff is great. But what feels sweetest is the person that I've been able to become as part of the whole journey.
Yeah.
That's the best.
So let's go back to let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into like the senior in high school version of you, an 18-year-old, and you can give that version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've led, the wisdom you've gained. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would say I would say to enjoy the work. That although some things might take time, you can really enjoy and you can achieve incredible results even though you haven't fully made it. And to enjoy the actual work, to fall in love with the work, not with the result, but with the work, to really enjoy it, to be enthusiastic about it every single day. That the biggest victories in life are on the other side of the biggest challenge, of that thing that you don't want to do. I would say to view fears um, as a as the light in the path, not the flame that says run away. To actually go into it and to call the bluff of the fears,
Yeah.
and to continuously, to work on your discipline, to work on your consistency, to do the stuff that is uncomfortable, to learn a handful of skills that are going to make all the difference.
So at the end of the day, everyone, Carlo, has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you're the one in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Perception of me, who I know I am, is I'm the guy that always finds a way. I'm the guy that I will crawl and I will go down on all fours just to hold on through the storm instead of forcing things. Because I know that when the storm ends and things are well again, I'm going to be so much further ahead than someone that makes rash decisions or that makes decisions based upon circumstances. So I am I am the king of what I do and what I am. And although I might not necessarily be, the simple belief that I am eventually is going to lead to me actually being.
Yeah.
But unless I believe it first, I will never be. And so it's gonna, from the outside, it's gonna sound arrogant, but it's a future truth that I am what I think I am. I am what I say I am, and what I think I become. And so I'm everything and nothing. I am, I'm up and I'm down, but I am what I am.
I dig it. So if anyone, Carlo, wants to reach out to you, hire you, learn more about you, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, for sure. Instagram is the best place at the Kingmaker Coaching. And the one thing that I always say to people is don't don't listen to me, don't trust anything I say. Watch what I do. And if who I am as a person, if my style, my energy, my intense, my non-bullshit accepting way is something that you feel like you need in your life, like I need in my life, to have someone that plays to your greatest self and doesn't accept the BS that you sell yourself, then maybe then I'll be someone that can help you become everything you can be. And at that stage, let's talk.
I believe you, man. Carlo, thank you, sir. I appreciate your story. I appreciate your time. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
Take care.